You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. West Greene has taken the field. The starting pitcher for West Greene is Corey Wise. Corey Wise is a senior on this team, standing at 5'8". He also plays third base on the regular, but he's doing the pitching in tonight's game. Again, the winner of this game, it's West Greene and West Beaver. The winner of this game goes on to the quarterfinals to play against Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on Thursday. Time still not determined, as is the location, but once these first-round games become final today, we should know where these next neutral sites will be. But this game being played in Peters Township, Washington County. It's Peterswood Park, and there are several ball fields here. There's a public works building. The community center's out here, so, I mean, it's a pretty good, complex, nice field with grass on the infield and well-cut grass in the outfield. West Greene in blue jerseys with white pants and yellow lettering on the jerseys, and the Golden Beavers wearing appropriately gold with those navy blue numbers and piping down the pants. First pitch from Wise is taken for a ball down low. 1 ball, no strikes on Benji Valdez, leadoff hitter, batting from the left side of the plate. One of those outside, counts 2 balls, no strikes. Corey Wise throwing from the right-handed position and facing the lefty Benji Valdez, the left-handed hitter. That pitch is down low, counts now 3 balls and no strikes. Temperature outside, a brisk 70 degrees at first pitch. Should drop toward the low 60s as this game progresses into the night. 3 ball, no strike pitch, misses down low. That's ball 4. Leadoff walk on 4 pitches issued to Benji Valdez from Corey Wise.
Now batting first baseman number 1, Zach Schwartz.
So Zach Schwartz playing first base in this game, batting second. Zach Schwartz is a senior. Primarily does catching, but in this game he's starting as the first baseman and batting in the second spot. Swinging a foul ball, first strike thrown by Corey Wise in 5 pitches. Counts no balls and 1 strike. So it's a righty-on-righty matchup. The sun's setting toward left field at the ballpark, and there are plenty of lights out here to illuminate the field once it gets dark. No ball, 1 strike count. Wise comes set, bunt shown, and the umpire says the batter went, and now, so not only did the batter offer at the pitch, according to the home plate umpire, the catcher for West Greene, Morgan Kiger, threw down to first baseman Casey Miller, and they tagged out Benji Valdez, leading too far off the bag. So score that, a 2-3 catcher pickoff putout for the first out of this top of the first inning. Still no score between West Greene and Western Beaver. Western Beaver batting. And Zach Schwartz will continue his plate appearance as he fouls that pitch off as it rolls slowly down the first base line. So again, a grass infield at this Peterswood Park field. There's a dirt line, though. Usually seen in traditional baseball fields, a dirt line leading from home plate to the pitcher's mound, but the grass on the infield is intended to create more friction on ground balls. That can be a game changer, though, because you can imagine some of these teams don't have that. I've seen plenty of parks where there's just an entirely dirt infield, and that can change the entire complexion of a game on ground balls. Swinging a foul tip into the mitt of catcher Morgan Kiger, so down on strikes is Zach Schwartz for out number 2.
Number 29, right fielder Mason Angarette.
And that'll bring up Mason Angarette, right fielder. 2 outs, bases empty. Benji Valdez led this inning off with a walk, but got picked off by the catcher Morgan Kiger at first base after a pitch. Zach Schwartz just struck out, first strikeout by Corey Wise in this game. And now Angarette stands in the right-handed batter's box, and he takes ball 1 of the dirt low and outside. Angarette, a sophomore, and can play all the outfield positions. In this game, though, he's starting in right field, and the sophomore bats third in the Western Beaver Golden Beavers lineup. Strike 1 over the low outside corner. Count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's the top of the first inning. No score yet between Western Beaver and West Greene. Western Beaver batting with 2 outs and the bases empty. Their number 3 hitter at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch coming. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. That'll progress the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is round 1 of the Class 1A WPIL playoffs in 2022. Winner moves on to play Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Loser is done for the season. That missed in the dirt. Squirts away, but nobody on base, so no penalty there. Counts even 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mason Angarette, the right-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher of West Greene, Corey Wise. Senior pitcher against the sophomore hitter. Pivot with the right, kick with the left, and pitch just a bit outside, off the outside edge of the plate. That runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wind up with the pitch from Corey Wise. Outside ball 4, so Mason Angarette works a full count and then gets to reach on a walk. Second walk issued by Corey Wise in this inning. Top of the first inning, still no score between Western Beaver and West Greene. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Tommy Webster to the plate. Tommy Webster doing the catching. I'd assume he's taking off his leg guards because usually the catchers leave their leg guards on so they don't have to get fully dressed. If they don't hit, they can just put their chest protector on and go. But now that he has to hit, he removes those and gets himself ready to hit. Right-handed hitter facing the right-handed pitcher. Wise looks for his sign, looks at first, comes set at the chest. Slide step delivery. High and in, that's ball 1. Tommy Webster for Western Beaver is a senior. Listed as a pitcher. He also plays some shortstop, other infield positions as well, but tonight doing the catching. Swing and a miss at that pitch in the dirt. Counts even 1 ball and 1 strike. So Our Lady of the Sacred Heart played Jefferson Morgan earlier today at this very ballpark around 2 o'clock. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart deuced a mercy roll in the 5th inning. 12-2 is the final score of that game. And the winner of this game will go on to play Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in the quarterfinals on Thursday of the Class 1A WPIL Championship in 2022. 1-1 pitch is just a bit inside, off the inside edge of the plate. Count progresses to 2 balls and 1 strike. Wind picking up a little bit and the cold starting to be felt as the sun continues to set over left field. The wind was a problem earlier when the sun was up, but it looks like it's being more felt with the presence of the sun leaving us out here. 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. That's just a bit outside. Counts 3 balls and a strike. I don't know if this will have any effect on how balls and strikes are called, but I noticed that the batter's box on the left side is intersecting home plate. It's usually supposed to be a gap between there. I don't know if that's what the umpire is looking at, but that's ball 4. That last pitch missed low. 3 walks now for Corey Wise in this inning. That puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Brandon Kelleher comes up to the plate. So Benji Valdez, the leadoff hitter for Western Beaver, he got on but then got picked off by the catcher. Out number 1. Zach Schwartz struck out for out number 2. Then the next 2 hitters, Angarette and Webster, reached on walks. So it's Angarette on second, Webster on first base, 2 outs, and Kelleher at the plate. He swings at the ground ball toward third base. Caden Shields will field it and just decide to tag the runner, Angarette, heading from second base to third base. So he's out, and that'll end the inning, or at least the top of the first. So for Western Beaver, no runs on no hits. There were 3 walks in the inning, and 2 runners were left on base. After a half inning, it's Western Beaver 0, West Greene coming to bat. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. Bottom of the first inning coming up. Western Beaver got their chance to hit. In the top of the first inning, they did not score. Now West Greene scheduled to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Top 3 hitters due up, of course, leading off with their first plate appearances of the game. Hunter Hamilton, Caden Shields, and Dalton Lucy. Those are the 3 scheduled to hit for West Greene, and they will go up against starting pitcher Brandon Kelleher. Brandon Kelleher is a senior on this team. He's an infielder, also a pitcher. So a couple seniors going at it on the mound. Corey Wise also a senior for West Greene, but Brandon Kelleher is a senior on this Western Beaver team.
Number 1, center fielder,
Western Beaver
Hunter
was the
Hamilton.
final team to make playoffs. They were seeded 13th of 13 teams with just 3 section wins. They finished as the number 5 team in Section 1. That pitch missed, ball 1 on Hunter Hamilton. But Section 1 was the only section in Class 1A for baseball this year to have 5 teams make it. Each section has 6 teams in Class 1A. There's a pop-up out towards straightaway center field, and some miscommunication allows for Hunter Hamilton to get to second base. So there was a pop fly out towards center field. On the run for it was Blake Marshall. He couldn't get there, and at the same time, Benji Valdez looked like he was calling off Blake Marshall, and both Marshall and Valdez did not decide to go and make the catch. They both let it fall right around them, and with nobody covering second, Will Martin was not there to cover second base, so Hunter Hamilton decided to keep running past first, and he gets himself a hustle double on a pop-up into shallow center field, literally right behind the second base bag. Now here's Caden Shields, right-handed hitter, stands in, runner goes from second, throw down to third is into left field. It got by the third baseman, Luke Trimble, and it looks like Hunter Hamilton will come around to score. The throw from Tommy Webster, the catcher, was too far past the glove side of third baseman Luke Trimble. He could not handle the throw as Hunter Hamilton slid into third base. So give Hamilton the steal of third, and then the errant throw by the catcher Tommy Webster allows for Hunter Hamilton to come in to score, and West Greene takes the early 1-0 lead with their leadoff hitter doing all that run production. That's a strike. Counts now 1 ball and 1 strike on Caden Shields. So Hunter Hamilton just manufactured his own run. He doubled, stole a base, and then induced an errant throw that allowed him to score on 2 separate plays. All by himself, though. That's pretty impressive. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Caden Shields. Playing third base in this game for West Greene. Caden Shields, a junior on this team. Standing in at 5'6". It's a righty-on-righty matchup. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming from Kelleher. That's too far high and inside. Count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brandon Kelleher doing the pitching for Western Beaver. Already 1 run given up. Here's the 2-2. In the dirt, count runs full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. West Greene with 9 section wins this year and seated at 4th in the tournament. Playing Western Beaver with 3 section wins this season. Winner of this game plays Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on Thursday at a destination and time to be announced. 3-2 pitch is caught, a strike. Looked like a breaking ball over the knees of Caden Shields, so he's down looking for the first out of this bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver in the bottom of the first inning. Hunter Hamilton doubled, stole a base, and as he was stealing, an errant throw allowed him to advance from stealing third to scoring at home on an error. Another breaking ball called a strike, this time on Dalton Lucy, the shortstop and number 3 hitter of West Greene. Dalton Lucy, a senior, standing at 5'8". Shortstop and pitcher on this team as he lines that pitch on the ground past the second base bag on its right side into center field. Second hit of the inning for West Greene in 3 batters.
Now batting the pitcher, number 20, Corey Wise.
I'm going to bring up Corey Wise, the pitcher. Batting 4th. He's a senior on this team. Corey Wise, right-handed hitter, stepping in. Wise, 5'8". He's an infielder and a pitcher, but in this game he is doing the starting for the 9-section winning West Greene. Dalton Lucy leads off first. Pitcher comes set at the belt, now throws another breaking ball. That just off the inside edge, counts 2-0. Corey Wise steps back in, cleanup hitter. Kelleher comes set at the belt, slide step pitch is swung over and missed. That's a strike. Looked like Corey Wise was trying to hack that pitch, but he swung his bat over the ball coming across the plate. Now here's the 2-1. Breaking ball off the outside edge of the plate. Now the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Looks like Kelleher's trying to get into a rhythm. He's coming set and throwing those pitches at consecutive times. That one fouled off. It clears that fence down the first base line, which makes the count run full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Corey Wise was significantly out in front of that breaking ball, so he goes down swinging. Second strikeout in this inning for Brandon Kelleher. So now with 2 outs, that'll bring up first baseman Casey Miller. Kelleher right back on the mound looking for his sign. Shakes one, shakes twice. Says yes to the third. Comes set at the belt. Slide step pitch. That one is popped into the air. Shallow right center field. Out to go get it is Will Martin, and he makes the catch in shallow right center field just past the lining where the dirt infield is. And that ends the first inning. So West Greene got their run entirely from Hunter Hamilton, who hit a double, stole third base, and then as he was stealing third, an errant catcher throw allowed for him to come around to score. And it's 1-0 West Greene going to the second inning. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. It's West Greene playing Western Beaver. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver going into inning number 2. Western Beaver scheduled to hit, and they're expecting their 6, 7, 8 hitters to come up this half inning. Will Martin, Blake Marshall, and Luke Trimble. Will Martin, the right-handed hitter, standing in now. Will Martin is playing second base in this game to start for Western Beaver. And he swings and misses at that first pitch for a strike. Will Martin is a sophomore. He's listed as a pitcher and an infielder, so not surprised to see him playing in the infield in this game as a second baseman. No ball, 1 strike pitch coming. Breaking ball, check swing appeal down to first base, and the first base umpire says no swing, counts even 1-1. So as you get deeper into playoffs, you see more umpires on the field. In this game, there's an umpire down the third base and first base lines, and they move as the situation dictates, but more eyes to see the plays, which expected to improve accuracy. That pitch swung on and missed. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Will Martin at the plate, the sophomore right-handed hitter. Corey Wise still doing the pitching for West Greene. He's into a windup. He pitches, and that fastball misses outside, which evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. West Greene, the 4 seed, playing Western Beaver, the 13 seed. Western Beaver, the last seeded team in the bracket this year. Only 13 teams made it in Class 1A. That pitch missed low and outside. Counts full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the sophomore infielder. Corey Wise looks in for his sign. Now gets it. 3-2 pitch coming. That pitch hit the plate for ball 4. Corey Wise struggling with walks early. This is the 4th walk now he's had in the game. And now 1+ innings on the mound. He walked 3 in that first inning. And he starts this inning off with a walk. There's Blake Marshall. Corey Wise comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch is called a strike over the middle of the plate. Counts 0-1. Blake Marshall is a sophomore outfielder, and he is patrolling center field to start this game. And batting in the 7th spot for Western Beaver. No ball, 1 strike count with Will Martin leading off first. That fastball called a strike. Around the same location, that outside edge counts now no balls and 2 strikes. Corey Wise looks in for his sign, looks at first base, now comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch is too far low and inside. Pickoff attempt to first, back safely is Will Martin. That was Morgan Kiger, the catcher, trying for the pickoff at first base. Kiger's already picked off 1 in this game. As in Benji Valdez walked. Valdez got too far off the base. And he was leading after a couple pitches, and Morgan Kiger nailed him. 1-2 pitch coming now from Wise. That one outside. Count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Four walks from Corey Wise to Western Beaver batters so far in this game. We're in the top of the second inning. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss late on the fastball. Second strikeout for Corey Wise, and that's the first out of this top of the second inning.
Now batting third baseman number 15, Luke Trimble.
I'll bring up Luke Trimble, playing third base in this game and batting in the 8th spot for Western Beaver. Another sophomore on this team, listed as a pitcher and an infielder. 1 out, runner on first, swing and a miss on that fastball. That's strike 1. Will Martin on first base. He walked to open up this inning, then Blake Marshall just struck out, so now it's Luke Trimble batting with 1 out and 1 on in a 1-0 game. Swinging a ground ball toward the right side of the infield. Played at second by Colton Thomas. Flips to the shortstop covering for the out. So Will Martin is forced out at second. Colton Thomas flipped to Dalton Lucy for the out. But no return throw to first base, so Luke Trimble reaches on a fielder's choice.
Now batting left fielder number 32, Austin Zeber.
So with Luke Trimble on first base and 2 outs, number 9 hitter Austin Zeber will come to the plate. Zeber, another sophomore on this team. Listed as a catcher and an outfielder, playing left field to start this game. No ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver in the top of the second inning. West Greene, the higher seed, so has home field. Well, not really home field advantage, but home game advantage, I'd say, as that pitch is fouled off. No home field advantage in baseball in the WPIL playoffs. All games for all the teams throughout all the classifications are played in neutral sites. And Peterswood Park is the neutral site of this Class 1A game between the 4-seeded West Greene and the 13th-seeded Western Beaver. No ball, 2 strike count on Zeber. Just a bit low and outside. Counts now 1-2. One ball, 2 strike count. Luke Trimble leads off first base. Wise comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch. Strike 3 called right over the outside edge. Placed perfectly, and that ends the top of the second inning. For Western Beaver, no runs scored on no hits. There was 1 walk in the inning and a runner left on base. After 1.5 innings, it's West Greene 1, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net. Simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. The bottom of the second inning is coming up. It's West Greene batting. First pitch is called a strike on Johnny Lampy. 6, 7, 8 due up for West Greene. Johnny Lampy, Morgan Kiger, and Ian Van Dyne. No ball, 1 strike count. Swinging a foul ball, counts no balls and 2 strikes. So if you've heard that last name before, you're probably not mistaken. You probably heard it on this network plenty of times as well. Because recently, in the last few years, Madison McKenna and Katie Lampy have all been outstanding basketball players for the West Greene program, and they've got several athletes in their family as Johnny takes a look. I call it strike 3 on a breaking ball. That's out number 1. But several of the Lampy children coming through the West Greene School District, the West Greene High School, have been outstanding athletes. And Johnny Lampy now adding himself to some of that talent. The pitch is outside, ball 1 on Morgan Kiger. Batting 7th and doing the catching for West Greene in today's game. Already picked off a runner, leading too far off first base. Morgan Kiger is a sophomore. Catcher and a pitcher, dangerous combination. Certainly can work your arm a lot if you're not too careful, but that pitch caught a strike on that slider. At the knees of Kiger, count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. So now time called by the home plate umpire, who has dished out warnings to both benches for conversations that have happened with each other in a way that isn't. Okay, I'm sure you heard that because I heard it from up here. He was so that's the first time I've seen that in a long time, if ever. But an umpire just redacted the warnings that he dished out, like they were just being playful toward each other as that pitch missed inside for ball 2. But the home plate umpire dished out warnings because he thought a couple players from each team were talking poorly to each other, but turns out that's not the case, so he withdrew the warnings. That pitch missed in the dirt for ball 3. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Morgan Kiger. 1 out, bases empty. It's 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver in the bottom of the second inning. That pitch fouled back to the screen. Counts full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. West Greene, the number 4 seed, is the home team in this game. Playing Western Beaver, the 13th seeded team. The 13th team of 13 teams in this bracket. Soft line drive out toward left center field. That will split the gap. Austin Zebra plays it in left field and will get it into second base on 1 throw. Morgan Kiger now on first base with a single. 3rd hit for West Greene in this game.
Left fielder Ian Van Dyne.
So Johnny Lampe started this bottom of the second inning off with a strikeout for the first out. And
base, number 5, Bryce Anderson.
Morgan Kiger just reached first on a single, and now there will be a courtesy runner for him. It'll be Bryce Anderson at first base, who will courtesy run for catcher Morgan Kiger. Swinging a foul ball by Ian Van Dyke for strike 1. So if you're not too familiar with the rules of high school baseball, usually a courtesy runner is allotted in the rules for pitchers and catchers because those 2 positions are at the highest demand physically for the players. So usually they get 1 designated runner to run for them on the bases whenever they reach. And West Greene has elected to use Bryce Anderson as the courtesy runner for catcher Morgan Kiger, who just singled. So 1 ball, 1 strike count on Van Dyne. Runner goes from first as that pitch is popped into the air out toward right field. Straightaway right field. Angarette makes the catch out there in right and will relay it back into the infield. So Bryce Anderson, who was running, had to retreat back to first base because he didn't tag up after attempting to steal.
Now batting second baseman number 22, Colton Thomas.
So Bryce Anderson remains on first base. 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, and Colton Thomas comes to the plate as the number 9 hitter in West Greene's order. 1-0 West Greene leads Western Beaver, bottom of the second. 2 outs in this half inning. Breaking ball tapped foul toward the first base side, and it hits the dugout of Western Beaver, strike 1. Colton Thomas is a sophomore on this team, standing at 5'5". Primarily plays the infield as that pitch is fouled off for strike 2. Pretty frequent amount of sophomores in both these lineups, both these starting lineups today. Runner goes from first. That pitch is called a strike. Breaking ball right over the middle of the plate. And Colton Thomas down looking to end the second inning. For West Greene, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 2 full innings, it's West Greene 1, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. We've got an update on the other games going on in Greene County, not in this section, but No, not in the section, not even in the classification. But at the end of 4 innings, Carmichael's leads Apollo Ridge 12-0. If you're looking to check out any of the other games, baseball playoff games that are going on from Greene County Schools, Jason Tennant's got that Carmichael's Apollo Ridge game. But if Carmichael's holds Apollo Ridge, that game will finish up in a mercy rule because it's 10 runs after 4.5 or 5. That pitch misses down low, ball 1. It's Benji Valdez leading off for Western Beaver. Their top of the order is due up in this top of the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, that's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Benji Valdez walked and got picked off of first base by the catcher, Morgan Kiger, back in the 1st inning. Western Beaver still has yet to score through 2 innings as Benji Valdez hit by the pitch. It's a fastball right at his thigh, the back of his thigh, more like his hamstring area up there. But he's aboard after being hit by that pitch, so no official at-bats for him, but he's reached base twice in 2 plate appearances, 1 on a walk and 1 on a hit by pitch.
First baseman.
We're going to bring up Zach Schwartz, with nobody out and a runner on first base. After this pitch, we'll reintroduce you to the defense of West Greene. Corey Wise comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch is tapped softly toward shortstop. Played by Dalton Lucy at shortstop. Flips to second baseman Colton Thomas for 1, but the relay throw back to first is late. So Benji Valdez out at second on the force out, and then the throw back to first base not in time. So Zach Schwartz reaches first on a fielder's choice. So here's the defense for West Greene for you once again. Pitching Corey Wise, doing the catching Morgan Kiger at first. Casey Miller at second. Colton Thomas at third base. Caden Shields at shortstop. Dalton Lucy in left field. Ian Van Dyne in center. Hunter Hamilton. And in right field, Johnny Lampy. So now here's Mason Angerette, who swings and misses at that breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1. Zach Schwartz on first base. No ball, 1 strike count on Mason Angerette. There's 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. And West Greene leads Western Beaver 1-0. Batter shows bunt. Angerette gets it down the third base line. It's spinning, though, and it spins its way left of the third base line into foul territory, and Morgan Kiger puts it to rest. Counts no balls and 2 strikes. Western Beaver in this bracket seeded 13th. They went 3-7 in Section 1 this season. West Greene won Section 2 with a 9-1 section record, but seeded 4th. No ball, 2 strike pitch. Pitch from Wise is swung on and missed. That fastball blown right by Mason Angerette. That's the 4th strikeout in this game for Corey Wise, and that's the 2nd out of this half inning.
Now batting catcher number 7, Tommy Webster.
So that'll bring up Tommy Webster, who reached on a walk his last plate appearance, so no official at-bats for him to this point. But he bats in this spot with a runner on first and 2 outs. His team down a run in the 3rd. First pitch, check swing, and he check swung that ball all the way foul. About the distance of the first base bag, but beyond the fence, beyond the boundary of the field in foul territory. Counts no balls and a strike. Sun continues to set over left field, and the lights for the field have been turned on. Should be expecting darkness sometime soon. With this evening start time, that one fouled off. Counts no balls and 2 strikes. Temperature continues to drop with the sun. 66 degrees as of right now, and within the next hour it's supposed to drop to about 63. No ball, 2 strike pitch. Swing and a foul ball. Looked like Webster chased a breaking ball that was tailing beyond the outside part of the plate, so he tried to pull it. As a right-handed hitter, just stay on it, but he fouled it off. And we got an update from that Carmichael's game. It did go final. Carmichael's induced the mercy rule. 12-0 the final score. Carmichael's over Apollo Ridge. No ball, 2-strike pitch. Strike 3, caught over the outside edge. Corey Wise strikes out another. And that strikeout ends the top of the third inning. So for Western Beaver, no runs scored on no hits. There was 1 walk in the inning and a runner left on base. Corey Wise has struck out 5 batters now through 3 innings. West Greene will have another opportunity to bat coming up in the bottom of the third inning. You're listening to GreenSports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. The Western Beaver Golden Beavers, out of Class 1A, Section 1, playing the West Greene Pioneers out of Class 1A, Section 2 in the WPIAL. They're playing a baseball game against each other right now. West Greene will bat in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch misses, blowing away for a ball. Brandon Kelleher still pitching for Western Beaver. 1 earned run given up by him to this point in the game. Top of the order, do it for West Greene. It's Hunter Hamilton batting now, the leadoff hitter in the order. And he should be followed by Caden Shields and Dalton Lucy. It's a 2-ball, no-strike count on Hunter Hamilton, who doubled, stole a base, and then as he was stealing, got an errant throw that allowed him to score. So he scored all by himself in that first inning. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Hamilton, the pitch. Caught a strike over the low outside corner of the plate. Count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hunter Hamilton. Right-handed hitter standing at 5'8" tall, and he's a senior on this West Greene team. Chased a pitch out of the zone, popped it up. It's right at the middle of the infield. Shortstop for Western Beaver, Benji Valdez, secures the catch on the pop-up right around the second base bag for out number 1.
Third baseman, Caden Shields.
So with 1 out in this bottom of the third inning, Caden Shields will come to the plate. 1 of 4 strikeout victims to Kelleher to this point in the game. Swinging a line drive into left field for a base hit. Sliding stop and bobble out in left field by Austin Zieber. Almost squirted away from him, but he kept it close enough where he could relay it in without
shortstop number 3, Dalton Lucy,
any extra bases taken on that potential error. So it's a single for Caden Shields, his first hit of the game. He singles on 1 pitch, and with that, number 3 hitter Dalton Lucy will come to the plate. Lucy 1 for 1 in this game. He hit a single back in the first inning. Pitch missed outside for a ball. Counts 1-0. West Greene scored its first and only run in that first inning. It's still 1-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Runner goes from first and a ground ball towards shortstop. Benji Valdez plays it. He doesn't have a play at second. He bobbled the ball a bit, and that bobble was enough for Dalton Lucy to beat out the throw to first. So Caden Shields was stealing on the play, so he had to jump towards second base. Benji Valdez did not have a play at second because Caden Shields was running, but as he fielded the ball, took it from his glove hand to his throwing hand, he bobbled it a bit, and that bobble was enough for Dalton Lucy to reach first base. So have Dalton Lucy reach on an error. Now here's Corey Wise as that pitch is fouled off for strike 1. The first error of the game by Western Beaver goes to on shortstop Benji Valdez. Now time called by the home plate umpire. The second base was dislodged because Caden Shields slid in, so they need to make that become sturdy again so it's playable for the next runner who wants to slide in and dislodge it. This field's nice. It's got those Velcro bases, so usually you see them where they have a hole in there and then the square at the bottom of the base fits in the hole. But here it's just a Velcro pad that's set on the dirt, so it's easier to put in because you don't have to fish it out of a hole. You just dust off the Velcro and then the base sits right back on it. Ground ball liner into left field for a base hit. Zieber plays it in left field, throws it in. Relay is late. And now a runner hung up between second and third, but he gets back to second safely. Caden Shields scores from second on the play. It was Dalton Lucy who got hung up there for a second between second and third, but he retreats back to second safely. And pitcher Corey Wise, who's also the cleanup hitter, just netted himself an RBI with that single to left field. It's now 2-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Now here's the number 5 hitter, Casey Miller, who takes ball 1. Hunter Hamilton started this inning by popping out to shortstop, and then the next 3 batters reached, 2 on singles, 1 on an error. There's a strike over the inside edge. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Casey Miller is 0 for 1 in this game. He popped out to second base in the first inning. Pivotal point in this game. Western Beaver has already given up 2 runs in the game. But West Greene threatening to score again with 2 on. And just 1 out. That pitch fouled away. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The winner of this game will go on to play in the quarterfinals. The game scheduled for Thursday against Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. That pitch in the dirt. Dalton Lucy way off the second base bag. Big secondary lead, but no throw baited from Tommy Webster. So he just holds it and runs Lucy back to second base. Counts even now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peterswood Park, the neutral site of this field. Temperature continues to drop as the sun sets for this night game. Grounded to third, played by Luke Trimble. Steps on the third base bag for 1. Throws to first, but it's dropped by Zach Schwartz. So Luke Trimble got the out at third base. So Dalton Lucy forced out at third. But my mistake, maybe I missed something because there's a runner standing on third base. I understand. Thank you, nice people in the press box helping me out.
Now
So
right fielder number 52, Johnny Lampy.
Corey Wise running advanced from first to third on the errant throw. So Dalton Lucy is out at third. On the unassisted force out by Luke Trimble. Now time called. Western Beaver will have a visit at the mound by its head coach. Well, we'll review that play again. So Luke Trimble got a ground ball, stepped on the third base bag for 1, then threw over to first base. Casey Miller was safe after the drop ball by first baseman Zach Schwartz. So Schwartz hit with an error on that play. Oh, no, it's not an error. That's a good point. You guys are helping me out there in the field. So it's a fielder's choice. You don't get an error when you record an out on a play. But Corey Wise advanced from second to third. So Casey Miller reaches on a fielder's choice. He's not credited with a hit. No error given to Schwartz on that play. So Lucy out at third base. Corey Wise advanced from first to third. Casey Miller on first base after reaching on that fielder's choice, and that'll bring up Johnny Lampy with 2 outs and runners on the corners. West Greene already has a run in this half inning. That one fouled off for strike 1. It's 2-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. A couple unusual situations happening in this game so far. Time called by the home plate umpire. Johnny Lamping batting now. No balls, 1 strike count on him. He struck out back in the second inning. That ball outside counts even 1-1. Johnny Lampy's a sophomore. He's 5'6", and he's batting from the right side of the plate in this plate appearance. Both runners lead off first and third. Breaking ball to Lampy, misses outside. Count is 2-1. Brandon Kelleher still pitching. He's given up 2 earned runs now in the nearly 3 full innings he's pitched. Swing and a miss. Counts even 2-2. Corey Wise on third base. Casey Miller on first. Kelleher comes set at the belt. Slide step pitch. Breaking ball fouled back toward the screen. Behind home plate. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Johnny Lampy. There are 2 runners on base, each on the corners. 2 outs and a 2-0 West Greene lead over Western Beaver in this first round game in the Class 1A WPIL playoffs in baseball. That one misses outside. Count run full now. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Johnny Lampy, and advantage here for West Greene. Casey Miller should be running on this 3 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs. Runner goes from first. Pitch is swung on and fouled back Again to the screen behind home plate, so the count's still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Casey Miller will go back to first base and attempt to do it again. Three ball, 2 strike count. 2 outs. Kelleher comes set. Runner goes from first, and a breaking ball fouled off beyond the boundaries of the first base side over the fence. So the count is still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Miller will go back to first and probably do it again. 3 ball, 2 strike count, 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. West Greene's threatening to score. They already have the lead. It's 2-0. Miller goes from first, swinging a line drive on the ground into left field for a base hit. 1 run will come around to score. Zeber gets it into third base. So each runner moves up 1 base. Corey Wise scores from third base. Advancing from first to second on the play, Casey Miller, an aborted first base with his first hit of the game and an RBI single. It's Johnny Lampe. And now West Greene has a 3-0 lead with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Morgan Kiger. 2 outs, 2 on, 3-0 game in the bottom of the third inning. Breaking ball misses outside. That's ball 1. Brandon Kelleher still doing the pitching for Western Beaver. 3 earned runs given up now through just about 3 full innings pitched. He's at 2 2/3 right now. Runner goes from second base, had a huge jump, and slides in safely. And the runner from first trails him, gets into second base safely. Casey Miller was not being held on at second base, so he ran before the pitcher Kelleher's delivery and gets a stolen base. West Greene's first stolen bases of the game, and the trail runner Johnny Lampe from first base followed suit, getting himself to second when the throw went to third. So now both runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And that's something that can happen if you don't pay attention to runners. That's smart base running. You don't always have to be fast to be a good base runner. Casey Miller with a good jump, not being paid attention to, took advantage and took the extra base. 2 ball, 1 strike count now. That pitch in the dirt counts 3-1. It's Morgan Kiger at the plate with Casey Miller on third and Johnny Lampe on second. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Brandon Kelleher pitches. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Got Kiger out in front. That runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver in the bottom of the third inning. First round of the Class 1A WPIAL baseball playoffs. Breaking ball hit in the air on the infield toward the first base side by the first base line. First baseman for Western Beaver, Zach Schwartz, makes the catch on the pop fly, and that out ends the third inning. So for West Greene, 2 runs scored on 3 hits. There was 1 error in the inning. And 2 runners left on base in scoring position. After 3 full innings, it's West Greene 3, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. Top of the 4th inning, getting ready to start. This is inning 4 of a 7-inning regulation game. Only 7 innings played in the WPIAL and the PIAA, so all Pennsylvania high school games. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Western Beaver in this half inning. Brandon Kelleher, Will Martin, and Blake Marshall. Corey Wise still pitching for West Greene, and he dirts the first pitch for a ball. It counts 1-0. Just looked like he lost the release on that pitch. It hit the dirt pretty early, and it's journey toward home plate. Wise throwing from the windup, 1-0 pitch coming. Swing and a tapper foul. It goes back behind home plate. Count is even 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kelleher batting now. He's the opposing starting pitcher for Western Beaver. He is 0 for 1 in this game, reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. And on the mound has given up 3 earned runs so far to West Greene. That one swung on and missed. Chased a breaking ball in the dirt. Now the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corey Wise to this point, no runs given up on no hits. He's walked 5, he walked 4, hit a batter, so 5 total free passes, but nothing in the hit column right now. That one fouled back for Foul ball, counts 1-2. Wise in the wind. Here's the pitch. That one down low, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So West Greene got its first run in the first inning, then scored 2 in that bottom of the third inning, take a 3-0 lead over Western Beaver. Again, Western Beaver, no runs on no hits to this point in the game. They left 5 runners on base to this point. 2-2 pitch. Too low, counts full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Three ball, 2 strike pitch coming from Corey Wise. He winds up, kicks and pitches. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. The strikeout will need to be completed. That's Morgan Kiger throwing to Casey Miller to complete the strikeout of Brandon Kelleher. And that's out number 1. That'll bring up now number 6 hitter and second baseman for Western Beaver, Will Martin. So West Greene, before the 2018 season, had struggled to make the playoffs in between decades. They really struggled as a baseball team, even having winless records in section for the last several years. That pitch is called a strike, counts 0-1. Then in 2018, they broke the drought. But in back-to-back seasons in 18 and 19, they were first-round exits. And then this past 2021 season, they made it to the quarterfinals before being eliminated. That one popped into the air but fouled down the first base side. Out of play. Counts no balls and 2 strikes. But the expectations for West Greene this year are high with 9 section wins. They have an opportunity again with a team that's still pretty talented to make it over not only over the playoff drought now, which they've already done, but make it deep into the playoffs. Maybe even attain the rights to play in the state tournament, but that's yet to be seen, and that's got to start in this game. That pitch caught a strike over the outside edge. Will Martin down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Corey Wise in this half inning. And that's now 7 strikeouts for Corey Wise in this game. So 2 outs, Blake Marshall comes to the plate. But it's kind of different for Western Beaver, a team that's flip-flopped a couple classifications in recent years. In 2019, they were moved to 2A. For the most part, though, they've been a 1A team over the last decade, and they were the 2013 Class A WPIL champions. And that team was dominant. They were 12-0 in section that year, and they won the WPIL for this classification, now playing in it and playing in the opening round 9 years later. Counts even 1 ball, 1 strike. On Blake Marshall, Corey Wise doing the pitching from the windup. Bases empty, 2 outs, and it's 3-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Pitch is outside, counts now 2 balls and a strike. But Western Beaver won it all 9 years ago and has kind of been not consistent with their playoff appearances, but they've got the championship within the last decade, and they've still been around. West Greene, again, hasn't been around. They were for decades out of the playoffs, and now they're a perennial playoff team in Class 1A. This is their 4th consecutive year that they've made the playoffs, and that's not counting 2020 because there really wasn't a season in 2020. So skipping that year, this is their 4th consecutive. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Corey Wise from the windup. Swing and a miss, chased the high fastball, and Corey Wise has struck out the side in order. He's now fanned 8 West Greene players, struck out 8 Western Beaver players for West Greene. And that strikeout ends the top of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on for Western Beaver in their offensive half of the 4th. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. West Greene leads Western Beaver 3-0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. West Greene batting here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and there's a soft ground ball past the shortstop Valdez into center field for a 1-pitch single. It's Ian Van Dyne.
Adjusted here. Somebody slid in really hard, but it's not level. So at the end of this half inning, he said he'd like somebody to go out and be able to straighten that up.
That's 6 hits now for West Greene. Their number 9 hitter at the plate now, it's Colton Thomas, who bunts it right at the pitcher. Kelleher throws to second for 1. The return throw not in time. So Ian Van Dyne out at second base. Pitcher Brandon Kelleher to second base. So Colton Thomas, after trying to bunt to sacrifice him over, reaches first base on a fielder's choice. So he's on first with one out. Now it's back to the top of West Greene's order. It's Hunter Hamilton, who's 1 for 2 in this game with a double. Kelleher's slide step pitch is rocked out toward left center field. That's going back toward the wall, and it's off the wall in left field on a hop. Zebra gets it into the cutoff man. Hamilton tries for third. He's safe, and a run scores on the play. Colton Thomas scores from first base. Hunter Hamilton into third base with an RBI triple, his second hit of the game, and West Greene has extended its lead once again. It is 4-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And another run-scoring opportunity for West Greene. It's Caton Shields batting with a runner on third and one out. He fouls that pitch back for strike one. Strike two called over the outside edge on Caden Shields. 4 runs on 8 hits for West Greene to this point in the game. And they're threatening to score another. Swinging a ground ball foul about 5 feet to the left of the third base bag. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. So if you didn't hear the news already, update in another bracket, another classification in the WPIAL, but Greene County team. Carmichael's has 10-run Apollo Ridge, 12-0. That game ended in 5 innings. And another baseball game earlier today. South Park beat Waynesburg Central 14-1. Then a game that happened at this field, Jefferson Morgan lost to Our Lady of the Sacred Heart 12-2. So time called. So it's a 3-ball, 2-strike count. The batter kind of ducked himself into the ball. It hit off his helmet, and the home plate umpire said that he didn't try to get out of the way. So, fair call there. That is the rule, and it ends up as a strikeout. So Caden Shields swings and misses at that pitch. That is strikeout. That is strikeout number 5 for Brandon Kelleher, Western Beavers starting pitcher. And with 2 outs now, here's Dalton Lucy. 2 outs and Hunter Hamilton on third base. Swinging a pop fly foul, counts no balls and 1 strike. Again, 4 runs on 8 hits for West Greene to this point in the game. All runs earned to Brandon Kelleher on the mound right now. Slide step pitch is called a strike over the outside edge. It's a 0-ball, 2-strike count. Dalton Lucy batting. He is 1 for 2 in the game. Singled and reached on an error to this point. Line drive into center field. That will fall and roll close to the wall. It's cut off by center fielder Blake Marshall. Hunter Hamilton scores from third base. That's an RBI single, his second hit of the game. First RBI for Dalton Lucy.
Now batting the pitcher, number 20, Corey Wise.
And it is now 5-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. The cracks beginning to get bigger for Western Beaver and the starting pitcher, Brendan Kelleher. Pitch missed inside for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes on the opposing pitcher to Brandon Kelleher, Corey Wise, who's the starting pitcher for West Greene. Pickoff attempt to first base. Back safely is Lucy. For West Greene, 1 run scored in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 here on the fourth. They've collected 5 runs to this point in the game. That pitch down low counts 2 balls and no strikes. For Western Beaver, their best scoring chance was in the first inning. They had 2 runners on, and they left them there. And that Corey Wise has been pretty solid, limiting the walks beyond those first couple innings. That one skied towards center field. Marshall, fighting the wind, drifted and backpedaled his way into making that catch in straightaway center field, and that ends the 4th inning. For West Greene, 2 runs scored on 3 hits, and 1 runner was left on base. After 4 full innings, it's West Greene 5, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. We're in the 5th inning now of 7 regulation innings, and the score is 5-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Corey Wise still pitching for West Greene. So far, he's given up no runs on no hits to Western Beaver, and he struck out 8 batters to this point in the game. The only thing that was he was struggling with early on was walks, and in total he's walked 4 batters and hit 1. But other than those early struggles, he walked 3 in the first inning and then didn't let on more than 1 base runner in the inning since. In the last inning, he struck out the side, so he's finding a rhythm, at least evidently to this point in the game, but still 3 innings to go before this game were to go final. It's 5-0 West Greene lead. Still not an insurmountable comeback, though, for Western Beaver. A team that's worked walks but hasn't taken advantage of them to this point. The biggest part was in the first inning. Western Beaver had 2 runners on a couple walks, but could not push across any other ones. And since that point, again, Corey Wise has limited the walks, and he's upped the strikeout rate. Again, he's at 8 strikeouts now of Western Beaver players. So I talked about this before. Well, I'll talk about it again. You got West Greene, a team that struggled in the past couple decades to make the playoffs.
Great job by the grounds crew.
They hadn't made the playoffs for a significant amount of time before 2018, but they've been a perennial playoff contender from 2018 on. They had a couple first-round exits, 2018 and 2019, and then 2021 they made it to the quarterfinals, and they lost. But Western Beaver has got to be the opposite. They've been not a perennial playoff team, but they've had a successful program over the last few seasons, missing some years, making it other years. And as recently as 2013, they were the WPIAL champions in Class 1A.
15, third baseman Luke Trimble.
So tail a couple teams. Swinging a ground ball to the right side of the infield, played at second by Colton Thomas. Throws to Miller at first and gets Luke Trimble after he swung at the first pitch. But both these teams also have lost in the first round in recent seasons. The last time that Western Beaver lost in the first round was 2018. The last time West Greene did was 2019. And it's the opposite for their playoffs. Western Beaver missed the playoffs for 1A last season in 2021, while West Greene's last missed playoff season was 2017. No ball, 1 strike count now on Austin Zebra, the number 9 hitter in the order for Western Beaver. That pitch down low, counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike. This is round 1 of the Class 1A WPIAL baseball playoffs. The winner of this game will go on to play the winner. That game already had a final. The winner of this game will go on to play Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. That pitch is fouled off for strike 2. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart beat Jefferson Morgan earlier today. 12-2 is the final score of that game. And this bracket is on the same side as the undefeated Eden Christian Academy team that hasn't lost a game yet this season. 12-0 in section. They were in section 1. They were section 3. But 12-0 in section 3 play this year. 15-0 overall. And they earned a first-round bye and a number 1 seed for having the best record this 2022 season. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count, and that pitch is swung on and missed, but the ball gets away from the catcher. Kiger throws down to first to complete the strikeout of Austin Zebra. That's the 9th strikeout for Corey Wise.
Now batting number 28, shortstop, Benji Valdez.
2 outs, bases empty.
He walked the first game.
That pitch called a strike count is no balls and one strike to Benji Valdez. Back to the top of the order now for Western Beaver. Benji Valdez walked and was hit by a pitch, so he's reached base twice, but no official at-bats at this point in the game. That one swung on and missed. And Corey Wise, one strike thrown away from achieving 10 strikeouts in this game. Right-handed pitcher facing the left-handed hitter. No ball, two-strike pitch. Swing and a chopper on the ground, third base side. Short hop by third baseman Caden Shields. And throws over to first baseman Casey Miller to record Benji Valdez out. Well, in the inning, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 9 strikeouts for Corey Wise through 5 innings. Go to the bottom of the fifth. West Greene's turn to hit in this fifth inning. West Greene up on Western Beaver 5-0. Swing and a miss by Casey Miller. That's strike one. Second pitch to him is also swung on and missed for the second strike. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. Some defensive substitutions for Western Beaver, but I'll tell you about those in a minute. That ball is flied out toward left field. Austin Zieber came in first. Then as he went to change his direction and back up, he stumbled, but he recovered enough to get the relay in, but that doesn't prevent extra bases. Casey Miller credited with a double after a bit of an Austin Zieber mishap out in left field. And as Johnny Lampe stands in, we'll give you the defensive substitutions now. Replacing Zach Schwartz at first base is Ethan Wilson, and replacing Mason Angerette in right field is Lonnie Kraft. That pitch is outside for a ball. Counts 1-0 on Johnny Lampe, who is in this game 1 for 2 with a stolen base. One-0 pitch swung on and missed for a strike. Counts even 1-1. Brandon Kelleher still on the mound for Western Beaver. The pitch is inside. It counts 2 balls and a strike. Lonnie Kraft, the player to come in and play right field for Western Beaver, is a senior on this team. Ethan Wilson, the first baseman, to come in, a freshman. Line drive and misplayed at shortstop. It gets into left field. Runner coming around to score. The throw-in by Marshall from center is late. Into second base safely is Johnny Lampe. Scoring from second base, Casey Miller. And we're calling that a hit by Johnny Lampe. Back-to-back doubles. Yield West Greene another run at 6-0. Here's Mason Kiger, who takes ball one. Johnny Lampe in scoring position. So on that play, Benji Valdez, the shortstop, saw the line drive coming, but it was kind of falling on him. He tried to change his positioning from an overhand catch to an underhand stod catch. That pitch misses for a ball. And when he reached for the underhand, he moved his legs out of the way to avoid the ball from hitting him, and it just it passed his body and made its way into left center field. So Johnny Lampe on second base now because of that. Now a ground ball through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Lampe rounds third. He's going to try to score. The throw in from Zieber is mishandled by the cutoff man, and the throw by Kelleher gets into right field, and they're going to stop Kiger at third base after the errant throw. So give Kiger the single. He advances to second on what's a fielder's choice, and then when they tried to get him at second base, the pitcher Kelleher overthrew the bag, so Kiger gets to third on an error. Error by the pitcher Kelleher.
Number 5, Bryce Anderson.
So Bryce Anderson comes back out at third base to courtesy run for Morgan Kiger. But Johnny Lampe scored on that play, and now the score 7-0. West Greene continues to lead. That pitch called a strike over the lower outside corner. Yeah, that was kind of a strange play. Johnny Lampe came around, and he was likely to score anyway, but the third baseman Luke Trimble tried to cut the ball off, and he mishandled it, and that's when Kelleher backed him up, but overthrew the bag. Catch made in right field on that fly ball. It's a sacrifice fly for Ian Van Dyne. Rapid scoring coming from West Greene in this fifth inning. So on that play, Ian Van Dyne hit a fly ball out to right field. Lonnie Kraft, the newly entered right fielder, made the catch, but wasn't urgent with his throw. He just kind of caught it, looked towards second base, seeming to not realize that Bryce Anderson was on third base, and Anderson, because of that, tagged up and was able to score easily. It's now 8-0 West Greene leads. So now here's Colton Thomas, who swings and misses for a strike. Counts 0-1. No balls, one strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 quick strikes on Colton Thomas.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Breaking ball inside. Count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3 runs in for West Greene in this half inning. 3 runs on 3 hits and a sacrifice fly. 1-2, caught a strike right over the lower outside corner, and that ends this fifth inning. Or does it? Oh, that was only the first out. That's wild. I meant the sacrifice fly was only the first out. Yeah, so that was the second out. My mistake. Getting into too much of a rhythm. Kelleher is working out there. Top of the order, here's Hunter Hamilton. Strike counts 0-1. So pardon me, let's review this again. That's the 6th strikeout for Brandon Kelleher in this game. Only the second out, my mistake. So that one is hit out in the air towards straightaway right field. Lonnie Kraft fights the wind, extends his arm on the run, and makes the catch. And that fly out to right field will end the fifth inning. So for West Greene, 3 runs in on 3 hits. And no runners were left on base. After 5 full innings, it's West Greene 8, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net. Simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. Western Beaver to bat in the top of the 6th inning. This is inning 6 of 7 regulation innings in Pennsylvania high school baseball. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Western Beaver. So we had a substitution. Zach Schwartz was replaced defensively in the bottom of the 5th inning by Ethan Wilson, but now Schwartz will re-enter. So Schwartz re-enters for Wilson to bat in this top of the 6th inning. Corey Wise still pitching, and he throws that one for a ball. Counts 1-0. Corey Wise to this point, no runs given up on no hits. Western Beaver has left 5 runners on base in this game. It's 8-0 right now after West Greene scored 3 more runs in the bottom of the 5th. Swinging a line drive out toward left center field. That will fall, and that's the first hit given up by Corey Wise to Western Beaver in this game. A Zach Schwartz leadoff single in the 6th inning.
Right fielder number 0, Lonnie Kraft.
And now that'll bring up Lonnie Kraft. So Kraft remains in the game. He defensively replaced Mason Angarette in that bottom of the 5th inning. But unlike Zach Schwartz re-entering, Lonnie Kraft will stay in and Angarette will not re-enter. Corey Wise comes set at the letters. Runner on first base, nobody out. Top of the 6th. Swing and a slap hit foul. Beyond the third base fence, counts even 1-1. Lonnie Kraft, the left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher, Corey Wise. West Greene has an 8-run lead, and they're in a position now where they could have the mercy rule come into effect if they score 2 runs in the bottom half of this inning. That ball gets away from Kiger in the dirt. Throw to second by Kiger is late. Zach Schwartz advances from first to second on the wild pitch by Corey Wise. Just the first wild pitch for Wise in this game. 2-ball, 1-strike count. This is round one of the Class 1A WPIAL playoffs. Winner of this game plays Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Game scheduled for Thursday. That one swung on and missed for strike two. Counts even 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Lonnie Kraft. Nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Zach Schwartz in scoring position at second base for Western Beaver. Corey Wise, the pitcher for West Greene, comes set. Slide step pitch is chased out of the zone. 4 and out, and that is strikeout number 10 for Corey Wise in this game.
Now batting catcher
First of the
number
inning.
7, Tommy Webster.
So 1 out, Schwartz still at second base in scoring position, and that'll bring up cleanup hitter and catcher Tommy Webster, who in this game is 0 for 1, a strikeout victim to Corey Wise. 1 of the 10 now. That pitch gets to the backstop. Kiger couldn't stop it, but he recovers nicely and throws to third. Morgan Kiger had the ball get past him, but he played that ball well off the backstop. Zach Schwartz tried to advance to third base on the ball that got past Kiger, but Kiger recovered nicely off the backstop, threw an accurate ball down to third base. Tag applied by Caden Shields. Schwartz out at third, and now there are 2 outs, bases empty in this top of the 6th inning. 1 ball, no strike count on Webster. Swing and a ground ball, fair, inside the first base bag, down the right field line. Rounding first and going for second before retreating back to first base is Tommy Webster. He thought about second for a moment, but Johnny Lampe out in right field cut it off well and relayed it in quickly enough to prevent Tommy Webster from advancing any farther than first base. So Tommy Webster with a hit, second hit of the inning for Western Beaver, the second hit all game. Western Beaver didn't have a hit before this 6th inning, but now they have 2 in the inning, but only a runner on first base with 2 outs. It's an 8-0 game. West Greene leads Western Beaver. And here is Brandon Kelleher. Check swing. No appeal. Ball 1. Now an appeal, and the appeal unsuccessful for West Greene. The ball remains on the board. Counts 1 ball, no strikes. Corey Wise 1 out away from completing 6 shutout innings. Slide step pitch is inside. Counts 2-0 on Brandon Kelleher, the number 5 hitter in Western Beaver's order, and also the starting pitcher for Western Beaver. Brandon Kelleher, a senior. There are 4 seniors on this Western Beaver team. As that ball's chopped in front of the plate, Kiger plays it in front of the plate, throws the first baseman Casey Miller and gets Kelleher out. And that chop out will end the top of the 6th inning. For Western Beaver, no runs on 2 hits and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5 innings, it's West Greene 8, Western Beaver 0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. I'm Nicholas Callas. More defensive changes for Western Beaver in this half inning. A straight swap on the defensive side. Going from pitcher to second base is Brandon Kelleher, and going from second base to now pitching is Will Martin. And there are 4 seniors rostered on this Western Beaver team. Lonnie Kraft, Brandon Kelleher, Tommy Webster, and Zach Schwartz, all of which were, or 3 of which were in the starting lineup, all of which have made an appearance in this game, and they're staring down, those seniors are staring down their final moments playing high school baseball. It's one thing that I don't think many people really think about when they, talk about, these games, especially when a team makes playoffs and has aspirations to move on. I mean, it's inevitable that one team has to win and move on, especially in these preliminary rounds. So this Western Beaver team is staring down right now the final moments of his season, and for those 4 seniors, Lonnie Kraft, Brendan Kelleher, Tommy Webster, and Zach Schwartz, they're facing elimination, and they're looking at potentially their final moments as high school baseball players. So spare a thought for them as we move to this bottom of the 6th inning. West Greene leads Western Beaver 8-0. This is round one of the Class 1A WPIAL baseball playoffs. West Greene is the higher seed. They are the 4th seed in the tournament. They finished with a 9-1 section record. Western Beaver was the 13th seed of 13 teams that made the bracket. Western Beaver finished with a 3-7 section record. Two, 3, 4 hitters do it for West Greene in this bottom of the 6th inning. Caden Shields, Dalton Lucy, and Corey Wise. If West Greene scores 2 runs in this half inning, that'll put an end to the game with the 10-run mercy rule being in effect beyond the 5th inning. That pitch missed inside behind the batter for a ball. Will Martin just threw his first pitch of the game. So West Greene to this point, 8 runs scored on 11 hits. The final line score for Brandon Kelleher, he gave up 8 earned runs on those 11 hits. Pitched 5 full innings and is in line for the loss of this game. 2-0 pitch from Martin is a strike. Count is 2-1 on Caden Shields, the number 2 hitter for West Greene. Pitch inside, that one hit Caden Shields, and he'll go down to first base. First hit by a pitch issued to West Greene from Western Beaver pitchers. So runner on first, nobody out. Here's Dalton Lucy, and right now he represents the potential winning run, as if he scores, the mercy rule goes into effect and the game ends. Slide step pitch is fouled back. That's strike 1. All right, West Greene, over the different points in this game, was just slowly and methodically scoring runs. They only got 1 in the first, but then they made it 2 in the third. Then they scored 2 in the fourth, then 3 in the fifth. That ball is hit on the ground past second base bag into center field. Marshall gets it into the relay man, who throws to third, and it gets away from the third baseman, Trimble, and over to second goes Dalton Lucy. So Dalton Lucy credited with a single. He advances to third on the throw from center field. Caden Shields advances from first to third on the play. So now the potential winning run moves into scoring position at second base. Caden Shields on third, Dalton Lucy on second, and here is pitcher Corey Wise, who with an extra base hit could end this game via the mercy rule. It's 8-0. West Greene leads Western Beaver, and 2 runners are on base in this bottom of the 6th inning for West Greene. Will Martin comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch. Slow moving pitch finds the zone for a strike count, even 1 ball and 1 strike. Reminder, you're listening to greensports.net simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, and this broadcast presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. Big kick and pitch on the 1-1. That is a fair ball down the third base. No, it's a foul ball. Okay, so the home plate umpire called it a foul ball. The third base umpire didn't seem to react very much, so I just assumed it was fair because everybody was moving, but I was incorrect. So foul ball, counts 1 and 2 on Corey Wise. The sun almost set over that left field spot in the sky from this home plate vantage point. And temperatures have dropped now to 65 degrees here in Peters Township. And pitch missed outside, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The lights on this field illuminating the field now with the sun going away into the distance. That fastball caught a strike on the 2-2 pitch. Will Martin gets his first strikeout of the game. Corey Wise goes down looking. It's his second strikeout of the game. He's now 1 for 4 in total. And with 1 out and 2 runners still in scoring position, Casey Miller will come to the plate. Miller 1 for 3 officially. He doubled and scored last inning. Pitch fouled off for a strike. 0-1. Caden Shields was hit by a pitch to start this inning. He's now on third base. Dalton Lucy singled and advanced to second on a throw to third base, so now he's on second base. No ball, one strike pitch is swung on and missed for strike two. Casey Miller took a big hack at that one, but could not connect. It's no balls, two strikes, one out, bottom of the sixth inning of 7, 8-0 West Greene leads Western Beaver. Check swing, and the home plate umpire says it was a committed swing. And that is out number 2. Will Martin gets his second strikeout since coming into the game this inning. And now with 2 outs and 2 still in scoring position, Johnny Lampe will come to the plate. Lampe in this game 2 for 3 with a single, a double, a run scored, and a stolen base. Slide step pitch is chopped on the ground, left side of the infield, but it trickles foul for strike one. I already talked about the siblings that Johnny Lampe has that have also come through West Greene Athletics and done well. 3 of which being Madison Lampe, McKenna Lampe, and Katie Lampe, all were high-end basketball players coming through the West Greene High School program. That pitch outside counts even 1 ball and 1 strike. So now Johnny Lampe helping West Greene to some success since joining the team, and he's still an underclassman. That pitch misses inside, and it hits Lampe. As a matter of fact, right by the waist. Second hit batter this half inning, and that loads the bases now, though only 2 of those runners matter who are on base
Number 99, Morgan Kiger.
to this point in the game. And I say that because if Dalton Lucy and Caden Shield both score, the game's over due to a 10-run rule, so Lampe's just an extra, rather unnecessary run out there now on first base. That pitch misses for a ball. Counts 1 ball, no strikes on Morgan Kiger. Has an opportunity to end this game in the bottom of the 6th inning. If he doesn't, though, West Greene will have to prevent 8 runs from scoring in the top of the 7th to end this game. That one grounded to third, played by the third baseman Trimble, who decides to just step on the third base bag and get the force out of Dalton Lucy, and that ends the bottom of the 6th inning. So for West Greene, no runs scored on 1 hit. There were 2 hit batters in the inning, and the bases were left loaded. Going to the last inning of regulation, the top of the 7th, West Greene leads Western Beaver 8-0. You're listening to greensports.net, simulcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, presented by First Federal Savings and Loan of Greene County. Corey Wise still pitching for West Greene in the top of the 7th inning. He's going for a complete game with his team up 8-0 on Western Beaver. It's the top of the 7th inning, last inning of regulation. Here's Will Martin, who swings and misses for strike one. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Western Beaver in this game. Will Martin, Blake Marshall, and Luke Trimble. Those are the 3 scheduled to hit, barring any substitutions that may take place between now and then, but no indication of those yet. No ball, 1 strike pitch. Outside count is 1-1. Will Martin started this game at second base, but came in to pitch the 6th inning, and he prevented runs from scoring despite loading the bases in the 6th inning. West Greene still leads by 8 despite not scoring in that 6th inning. That pitch misses low and inside, counts 2 balls and a strike on Will Martin. Corey Wise throwing from the windup, looking in, facing the plate, gets his sign. Now he steps, pivots, kicks, and pitches. That one too low, counts 3 balls and a strike. Corey Wise struggled with walks early in the game. He walked 3 in the 1st inning, but settled down later on in the game, giving up no more than 1 walk in any of the innings past the 1st, as that pitch misses for ball 4. Kept runners off the bases in the 4th and 5th innings. Not giving up any base runners. In the 6th inning, though, he gave up 2 singles. His first 2 hits of the entire game that he gave up were in the 6th inning, and starts off this inning by walking Will Martin. So he's on first. Now Blake Marshall's at the plate. Nobody out. Top of the 7th inning, 8-0 West Greene leads. That pitch misses inside for a ball. Counts 1-0, and the sun is all but completely set Sky is starting to get that dark blue hue. However, it's not completely dark yet, though, because we're moving toward the parts of summer now where you get the longest parts of the days. That pitch called a strike over the lower inside part of the plate, counts 1-1. Temperature still above 60 as we are approaching 9 o'clock on this Tuesday evening. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, counts 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Nobody out yet. And a runner on first base in this top of the 7th inning. I've got an update on the Pirate game in this quick stoppage in play. It's 6-0. The Cubs lead the Pirates in the bottom of the 4th inning. Back to this game. 1-2 pitch from Wise is hit softly on the ground toward first base. Casey Miller steps on the first base bag to get the force out there, then throws to second, but the throw trickles into center field. No advancement further for Will Martin, though. So out at first base is Blake Marshall after Casey Miller made the play, and Will Martin advances to second on the play. So he's in scoring position with 1 out, and Luke Trimble will come to the plate, batting with a runner in scoring position. Luke Trimble in this game is 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning and grounded out to second base in the 5th inning. Wise's slide step pitch is swung on and missed for a strike. Counts 0-1. West Greene 2 outs away from advancing to the quarterfinals to play Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Game scheduled for Thursday, though a time and destination has not been officially announced yet. Swing and a ground ball past the shortstop into left center field. That'll be a base hit, and it seems Western Beaver's going to get their first run. Will Martin rounds third, comes around, and he scores without a throw. So credit Luke Trimble with a single and a run batted in. Will Martin scores from second base. It's now 8-1. Western Beaver cracks the scoreboard in the run column.
Now batting number 17, Ethan Wilson.
Corey Wise looks to first, now comes set at the letters. That pitch misses for a ball, counts 1-0. Ethan Wilson is now in the batter's box. He is batting for Austin Zieber. That pitch called a strike, count is 1-1. So an odd move here because Ethan Wilson came in to play first base for Zach Schwartz earlier in the game, and then Zach Schwartz re-entered to hit. Now Ethan Wilson being used as a pinch hitter for Austin Zieber. So he's been a defensive and an offensive substitution in this game. That pitch misses inside, counts 2 balls and 1 strike on Ethan Wilson. 1 run in for Western Beaver in this inning. It's 8-1. West Greene leads Western Beaver. Luke Trimble on first base with 1 out in this top of the 7th inning, the last inning of regulation. That pitch missed inside, counts now 3 balls and 1 strike. And now time called. Morgan Kiger goes to talk to Corey Wise. So Wise no longer going for the complete game shutout. He's just going for a complete game, but still an impressive performance. He has 10 strikeouts to this point in the game. 1 earned run given up through 6+ innings on the mound. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Ethan Wilson. Three balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. 1 runner on. Corey Wise comes set at the letters. Slide step pitch. Swing and a chopper down the first base line, but it goes foul. Getting off the fence of the West Greene dugout over the first base line. Count remains full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Some finals among Greene County teams today. Out of section, Carmichael's beat Apollo Ridge 12-0. And South Park beat Waynesburg Central 14-1. Throw down to first is in time. So it was strike 3 called on Ethan Wilson. And then Morgan Kiger threw down to first base and picked off Luke Trimble, leading too far off the base. The second pickoff by Morgan Kiger.
West Greene 8, Western Beaver 1.
I mean, what an interesting turn of events.
Our Lady of the Sacred Heart on Thursday.
Morgan Kiger
At a time and place to be determined.
picked off Benji Valdez in the first inning to record the first out West Greene got in this game.
Enjoy your evening.
And then Morgan Kiger just picked off Luke Trimble to record the 21st out of the game. I wonder how rare that is. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up right now. But that pickoff ended the final score, or ended the game, yielding the final score 8-1. West Greene beat Western Beaver in this round 1 WPIL Class 1A baseball game.